What is up, guys? Mcdoubles back here with a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new December Changelog Update for Project Ascension Classless WoW Season 8. Now, what I want to do with this video is go over all of the recent December changelogs, including some pretty pivotal changes to open world. I'll give my criticisms on some stuff as well, and yeah, overall it's a pretty good patch, and it sets up the next few videos I'm going to do, so I thought it was worthy of making a video for. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's jump right in. Okay, guys, December Changelog Updates. Now it says 2 hours, but let's go ahead and go over this. Again, we'll try to hit the high points, go over the whole thing, though. And yeah, let's just start from the top. Skill card changes. First of all, skill cards are now spec specific. So this was just like a minor thing in many ways, but basically if you had skill cards, then let's say you rolled a second spec at max, you automatically got your skill cards that you rolled on the previous spec. This was kind of crappy, not gonna lie, so that's a pretty good change. Hands of Fate and card swaps are now directly affected by your lucky skill cards, little typo, even at max level. That is obviously a big deal. I don't know, like that's huge. It should have been that way from the beginning though, but that is a big deal. I'll definitely take lucky cards, you know, being a max level thing, man. I can do my rerolls, and if I lucky carded Siege Breaker or Death Wish, oh, I might actually get it. Wow. If I don't get any lucky cards while leveling, which as you all know is a very common event, unless it's a common card that you, you know, happen to lucky card, now you have a chance of getting them at max. This does change the game. Will it change the intensely bad RNG of the season? I guess we'll find out. I'll do some more playthroughs. You guys will be playing as well, and we'll find out. The chance to roll lucky cards has also been greatly buffed. They've said this many times in the past. Maybe not directly with lucky cards, but they always say something like, the chance to roll something has been buffed. And then personally, it's not often noticed, but we will see. Level 1 skill cards are now available in the game. So these weren't in the game. So if you wanted the skill card Charge, Lightning Shield, Judgment of Wisdom, Aspect of the Hawk, you can see these as examples. You couldn't. I do think this is a wonderful change. Props. I love it, especially the Charge one. Like, I'm glad they showed that, because that's the kind of thing somebody might actually think, you know, I can't afford to do this at level 1, but maybe I could afford the lucky or normal card it rather, or golden skill card it rather. So we will see. Unfortunately, Ascension has a really bad habit of just adding weird RNG as if they're just like compensating in some way for not knowing what to do. So they'll add weird RNG to things. Like, immediately the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm thinking about that skill card shop. That was such a bad ball miss right there. They missed the mark, man. But you know, I think to myself, golden skill cards, those are still kind of hard to get unless you're really no-lifing the concept in and of itself. Good luck as an average guy, a casual, or a normal person in general. So my head goes to this idea that really normal skill cards are all that anybody really relies on, and then the luckies, of course. And the goldens, you just hope you got lucky because, you know what, it's a lot of gold, bro, ultimately. You know, I've heard from people that put 20,000 gold into it, and they didn't even get the epic card they wanted. Money is one of those things in World of Warcraft that for some people who particularly enjoy it, maybe they're more inclined towards the greed aspect of it all, they're rich very easily, and then for some people, it's just this bonus thing where they can occasionally get something that they're happy with, and otherwise they don't worry about it. So it's one of those really tumultuous things. So I know that's random thoughts that came in my head in regards to the skill card system, because I'm thinking about buying the skill cards and how easy are those to get. I'm thinking about Charge being an epic card, right? I like this change in particular though, so let's just move on down. So with the advent of spec specific skill cards, lucky cards can now safely affect your Hands of Fate and card swaps. They're repeating that. This means that even if you hit 60, you can use Hands of Fate and card swaps to continue searching for your lucky cards, as we said. Okay, rolling on down. World Forge enchantment updates. So a lot of this, at least in terms of rarity, is going to be because of complaining. World Forge enchantment descriptions are now visible. That should have always been the case, so that's great. So if you didn't know, once upon a time, if you saw Shadow Word Gore, it would just say something that didn't matter. Maybe it would just have a hint on where to get it, but it wouldn't tell you what it did. So unless you went to a third-party Discord that maybe, if you're casual, you don't really have access to or know where to go, I had it, but not everybody has, you wouldn't even know what any of the new stuff does. That can suck. So, okay, great change there. They also added more hints to the World Forge enchants. I don't think anybody's really using the hints that often, to be honest with you. I think people just go to the Discords I've linked, like under my guide video for Season 8, and they just automatically see where everything is. But that's still cool. Introduced 15 new World Forge enchantment caches. I do like the caches. It was a band-aid fix to their system, but I do like them. Essentially, you can find caches out in the world, and you can get a World Forge enchant by acquiring keys for them, rather than actually doing whatever the hell they actually want you to do for the enchant. They added Mythic 10. We already did a plus 10 3 chest in one of my videos just to show it off. It's fun as always. I love Mythic Plus. So we'll move on down. Onyxia came out. I feel pretty bad. My guild wanted to raid with me on this when it came out, and I was just too tired. You know, just too tired working on that last retail video. We probably will obviously still do this, but with that aside, they have new mechanics. They always say they add new mechanics. I was really pushing that when they talked about it for Season 8. I never noticed them, man. Like, that's crazy to me, but apparently they're there. 6 new original items have been added to Onyxia. I love that. Now, they have also some stat improvements to existing Onyxia items, but they do give some examples of these brand new items. The Mace of the Dragon Knight obviously sounds the coolest. 16 stam, 14 crit 2H mace. You gain melee haste. I don't know what the hell that's going to be for. Who knows? I could easily be missing something there because I haven't thought hard about it. We're trying to go quick. These are the ones I like, though. Naltharian's Badge, so you get just stacking AP just for playing your class. That's always nice to have more trinkets that do fun stuff. But even for something that boosts AP, I like this. So Naltharian's Badge. Then we've got a spell power variant called Insignia of the Dragon. Those are cool. Now, Ascension has a horrible habit. There's no WoW head, right? So the reason that you might be able to get away with not telling your player base about the new stuff you added would be if there was actually an easy way to go look it up. But there isn't one for Ascension. So one thing I've noticed is they only showed us 3 items, but they said there's 6. So I guess they want us to go raid and hope it drops. And, you know, they think it's going to add exploration or something to it. But actually, a lot of the journey sometimes is knowing what's there and then pursuing it. Right? So it is posted in their change logs, but they don't tell you what the stats do in the change log either. But we do have the names of them: Draconic Effigy, Band of Nixandra, and Wand of the Noble. Okay, at least it sounds like there's a nice variety of stuff in there. Okay, so we've got some item updates, and I always love item updates. They say, with the advent of Mythic Plus on Thrall, a good chunk of items have had their stats reworked to improve their identity and make them unique and keep their power level consistent with other equipment. These item improvements are part of an ongoing effort to widen itemization options and support all types of different heroes and archetypes. And that's great. I obviously love that as a concept. That's something I definitely push. The item rework focuses on improving items that lacked an identity. Great. Improving items that were just worse versions of other items. Perfect. And improved items that lacked enough stats to be competitive. Also absolutely fantastic, right? So, heroes who dive into mythic dungeons can now expect to find even more tailored and unique pieces of gear in vanilla, further expanding the options for powering up your classless hero. Okay, so do they give any examples? No. Maybe it's in the changelog, although that's a mess, man. Additionally, you can now refund any mythic items purchased from Edrum Skysong to get back your mythic coins. Previously, there was no way to refund items you bought, which was way too hardcore. No way, huh? Now you can, and that's just great. Yeah, that is just great. But as I said before, sometimes you got to get it right the first time. I think that so many games, it's not just Ascension, and you all know this is true, so many games nowadays just release something and they think, I really do think this is what must happen at their meetings, right? They think, well, hey, if we don't get it right, we'll just patch it later on. And that's a horrible mindset. It's a horrible mindset. But let's move on down to new powerful rings, my friend. Now, they say they've added these 2 new rings, the Flattened Elven Ring and Agi-Base Ring with Hit and Expertise. Always happy for Hit and Expertise items. And Gordok Knuckleband, a Strength exact replica variant. They modeled these after the concept of the Tarnished Elven Ring. I don't know if it replaces it. They just say it's based on it, although implication says that probably drops from the same dungeon. However, in true Ascension fashion, they don't actually tell you. They don't. I'll even read the whole thing so you know. In addition to the massive set of item updates, 2 new rings based on the fabled Tarnished Elven Ring, Arise, Ye Tarnished, are here to further expand your potential item arsenal. You can now grab both the Flattened Elven Ring and the Gordok Knuckleband for rings with both hit and expertise on it. They make your finger tarnished, but whole. What's next? Loot from hidden bosses made more available. Extremely elusive items that are received only from summoned bosses from an extensively long quest chain Theldrin, Jarian, Sothos, Cormac, More Greyhoof, etc. have been merged to a single drop pool. This drop pool has a 20% chance of being added onto the last boss of every 50 plus dungeon as an additional loot template. But they didn't tell you what any of those things are. So like, in other words, guys, I would write this for you if it would help, and I don't even require any money, man. I'm not even trying to be a smart aleck when I say that. I would say what you need to do is then expand on this, okay? And tell us what the drop pool even is, because you can't assume people know. And yeah, I don't know, just more. Anyway, many secret or difficult to summon vanilla bosses have had their loot added to the final boss of their respective dungeon. Okay, maybe that's the gist. Okay, so we've got additional lesser enchantments introduced. Now, I've given my critique on this. I guess if they're going to push us in this direction, this is good. The idea here is that you can now not actually need a healing spell and still level as a healer, right? I could just take this enchant, boom, I have healing touch, and you really can heal the entire time with just this, or just the holy light right there. That's pretty cool. Moving on down. Miscellaneous improvements, right? Many PvP mods adjusted the strength of skills in PvP. But it's there, so I guess they adjusted some stuff. Who knows, for better or for worse. Slice and dice can be rolled at level 1 if you know a cat form ability. Always good to have that. Pets will now be revived when you enter a dungeon. That's great. And they're nerfing Warden of Demon Reach, and they say it's an improvement, lol. I told you. You know what I mean? Like, I made that video quick because Kaladin wanted me to. I think Kaladin in particular enjoys the book series this is based off of. And I told you it's broken, and everybody's using it. It is broken. I'm not upset about it personally. I loved that spec. I thought it was super fun to play. But if they feel it deserves a nerf, perhaps it does. And there you go. It's gone. Call board update. So this is where you get your daily quests. Monsters needed to complete call board hunt quests now spawn faster. That's never bad. Marks of Ascension awarded from call board quests will remain at their boosted Pilgrim's bounty numbers. Okay. I guess that's good. More Marks of Ascension is always good because it lowers the amount of time you waste. And I am just sick of wasted time on Ascension at this point, so that's wonderful. Moving on down, Mystic Droughts for Honor. Please, God, why do they give me so much ammo when I'm not in a particularly great headspace about their game? Mystic Droughts, okay, so Mystic Droughts are wonderful. This gives you a Mystic Extract. You typically get these for prestiging. This was something that when they added 3 of them for a prestige, I couldn't believe it, because with their mindset, you would think they would maybe only give you 1, but they gave you 3 for a prestige, and I thought, wow. But now, once again, they've gone back to their old ways, which is, I'll just say it at this point, whoever is designing the price of items, whether it's honor or gold or any currency in their game, doesn't know what they're doing. And I do not say that typically in a negative way, but I have to be real at this point. We already know 1600 honor for a Mystic Orb just as why would you do that? You know what I mean? It's like so priced badly, the runes, it's all badly priced, right? It's insulting, you know? It's like, who is farming that much honor to where that becomes a viable purchase? Just to give you some kind of point of comparison, for like 15,000 more, you could just get a second spec. Do you know what I'm trying to say? For 30,000 less, you can get a freaking enchant for your shoulders for PvP that you'll actually use all the time. But they think 50,000 honor. Like this one literally should be a 5 or 10,000. I would say 10,000 honor would actually make it awesome. That would open up so much for people to actually get their extracts faster, and that would be great. What I will say is adding the Mystic Drought to the honor shop is a great change, and that's awesome. But the price is... but overall, let's just say it's a good change and hope that they somehow come to their senses with the prices of stuff. Anyway, vanilla open world quests give Marks of Ascension. That's wonderful. So this is where I keep saying, do something for the open world. What are you doing? Creating World of Warcraft, especially a vanilla version of it, right? Let's remember that we're in vanilla, and not have an open world, right? Not have a journey, man. So this is their attempt to make that better. Quests you complete in the open world now award Marks of Ascension. So okay, but it's 10. Why? Does that get higher? Come on. Let's pretend at level 20, the quest might give 100. But let's just read what they say. Increase the rewards of open world prestige by 1,000. Lastly, they say with Marks of Prestige added to vanilla quests, as well as an additional 1,000 marks for completed an open world prestige, heroes should reach the end of their open world runs with significantly more Marks of Ascension. LFG now reward bags. Heroes who complete an LFG dungeon now will receive a bag as an additional reward. Now, these keep happening. I keep getting these red small pouches changes. They keep filling up my bags. I think that this was meant just for new players, but everybody seems to be getting them right now, and it's actually kind of a pain for people that don't need a 6-slot bag. It's something. This is actually a really good change I noticed while doing a playthrough that's going to come out soon, and I will say this is some positivity right here. Upon summoning, your Book of Ascension will now automatically rank up your skills. Big. You don't have to have an add-on or a weak aura or anything like that. Similarly, leveling while your Book of Ascension is out will also automatically rank up your skills. Gotta say, that's a cool quality of life improvement. Going down, battleground leveling changes. Health and mana are no longer fully restored upon level up. So we saw this like last week. That shows you what they're kind of throwing in here. And that's a great change, as I said. And we end off with, I think, is a good quality of life change. They have removed the portable transmogrifier because we have a brand new UI in Ascension. I think that they've removed the ability to need transmog runes, which I hope they did. And not even in real WoW do you have to pay in-game money for runes that come off the in-game shop to actually transmog your guy. Right now, as I'm speaking, it's still free. If that's the case, kudos to you guys, because that's a good change. So we're ending off. This was all the updates. Overall, I'd give it like a B. You know, there's a lot of really good stuff in here, namely the Onyxia stuff, namely the brand new changes to these items. But once again, when it comes to prices of stuff, they missed the mark. They don't really know what they're doing when it comes to that. Once again, this is a wonderful change with the level 1 abilities, but I do have my iffiness on the fact that we didn't see anything about the skill card shop, anything about them randomly making it based on RNG for no reason, which was just a bad change. And what that's going to mean, right, for people. Even though they can get these level 1 abilities, how often will they be able to use them in those golden slots? Who knows? But it's a minor thing. So overall, guys, I would say that I do think this is a good patch overall. I'm actually pretty excited to get back into the open world. I'm going to do probably my next few videos and just hyper-focus on open world questing. Will dictate then if the Marks of Ascension feel worth it, because inevitably, I will go slower. Of course, I'll try it with Experience Aura and then Pot, and then maybe I'll try it without an aura. But like I said, we'll go through open world, and I will level in high risk the entire time. So you should go into high risk, and you should try to find me, because wouldn't it be nice if we could do a level up and try a build all along the way? Try the special enchants. Overall, though, pretty good. A little bit of, hang-ups here and there, but the criticisms have to come out in order to, put something out there that says, hey, you can do better, because every time we do that, man, they do better. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Mcdoubles out.